Those of you who have been to my lair and lived to tell the tale have met my dog. Those of you who had shared late nights on the bushes with me have heard me sign off with mention of him, waiting to be taken out one more time before bed. The rest of you are about to meet him now. Tall Spike is a cream-colored, honey 8-pound Pomeranian, a great big guard dog and a convenient portable package. His mortal nemesis is the UPS truck, which he drives away with a barrage of ferocious barking. Although he takes offense at any vaguely Autobot-shaped thing that passes his field of vision outside the window. I've tried to explain to him, to no avail, that there's no such thing as a Stunticon as well, but they're on our side. At 11 years of age, at the time of this writing, he's active, alert, affectionate, and enthusiastic about life. I have long been struck by a poignant phenomenon when we walk. Should we spot another dog across the field across the street, or peering out from a fenced yard, Tall Spike will strain at his leash, his every other thought forgotten, his entire attention focused toward getting over there, and meeting that other dog. If the other one seems friendly, and the parent is willing, I try to let them meet up. I know, after all, it feels like. The realization that over there, just beyond reach, embodied by a tantalized shape, is one of your kind. The desperation to get back to where you truly belong. Yes, this is a cute story, but Beast Planet is under attack. Yes, Megatron has taken over Cybertron and left it barren. The Maximals have been captured. It is glorious day.
Yes, the Maximals. Yes.
Let me continue with a story. No matter how good Tall Spike is, no matter how cherished and included and indulged he is the veneer of the daily life vanishes the instant when the realization that over there is someone of my kind, and that is where I should be. I have experienced it myself. Upon seeing predators in action on nature documentaries, lone hunters in the wild places, reptilian or canine or feline, the distinction doesn't seem important. A memory of heat and silence in a streaming forest or a scorching wasteland. A yearning for some home I never knew. A drive that calls me back to the jungle. Something where the continents were positioned differently than they are today. The stranger in a strange land syndrome in the human world. The acute sense of walking on enemy ground. Going through the motions. Having, through constant repetition, numbered myself almost, but not quite, to the horrifying alienness of it all. The unlikely shadow of a hope that somewhere out there is my kind after all. I felt it when I first saw the Decepticons in the cartoon. The immediate sense of kinship. Ah, Raksha, you're a little cracked, but we still love you. Yes. The Maximals and the Predacons on Cybertron. The Tripredix Council crushed. Dragon Megatron from outer space-time. Destroy everything. It is a glorious day for the Decepticons. We should celebrate it. For eons to come. Ruff, 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 ruff.
Yes. It will be glorious. The machine wars are over. As far as we know, anyway. I never liked the Beast Wars. Can we get back to the story?
I felt it when I first saw the Decepticons in the cartoon. The immediate sense of kinship. The incredulous excitement of having come up with my kind. The long-lost friends and family. That's what I mean when I say that I have been a Decepticon since before I ever knew who they were. I mean, my personal worldview and philosophies, my individual evaluation of right and wrong, good and evil, admirable and detestable, has been concurrent with the Decepticon mindset all along. Believe it or not, my favorite color was purple, well before I had ever been aware of the transform. It was only inevitable, then, that I should consider myself almost immediately part of the team. There's a problem with all this, of course. The Decepticons are fictional beings. Unfortunate as that may be, there's a strength in them as well, a great advantage. I'm an individual who almost inadvertently prefers the fantasy to the reality, who likes to recall having been there, but doesn't necessarily enjoy the travel when it's happening. We found the wisdom in Mr. Spock's words, that having is not so pleasing a thing as wanting. How quickly the perfect fantasy is spoiled by the reality, the little everyday hassles and problems, the major and minor inconveniences of living. How easily one finds drawbacks to the perfect job, the perfect home, the perfect idea, the exciting creative vision, runs aground against the most trivial of practical constraints. But Beast Wars was only 3 years Terran time, Yes. Now, Beast Machines, who knows how long a time that was, created a multiverse, you might say. Or at least, shattered one. Yes. Decepticons are kind of evil. Yes. Yeah. No respect for my own mother. Alright, back to the story. One works with what one has, of course, and perseveres, but nonetheless builds something of lasting value. But it's the unattainable fantasy that drives that reality, that eternal sense of dissatisfaction between what is and what should be. Those who haven't allowed themselves to be totally beaten down by the demands of conformity spend a great deal of their time trying to make the reality match the vision. Take the fantasy of the one perfect, unflawed issue of Comic Quest. I have never achieved it, but without the fantasy in mind, I wouldn't continue to try. Tall Spike, after he had greeted the dog across the street, draws back as though not knowing what to say further, and how to respond from there, back to his real world, and back to me. The fantasy of a faraway time and place is surely more pleasing than actually living it, with all of the dangers and discomforts. The fantasy of the perfect friend, family, teammates is surely more compelling than the ones you let down. What a shame it would be, after all, to see the Decepticons sullied by reality. So in closing out the theme for the last 2 issues, what if the Decepticons were real? I would concede that it may not be such a bad thing in the end, to contend oneself with the fantasy. Besides, it is not we that have a choice in this one.
Raksha, the Plumed Serpent. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, that didn't last long. How many cycles has it been? 3? Might as well be 27. Maybe it is someone else. This place is a mess. Daughter, you must clean the place. Daughter, mother. Mother, daughter. I'm confused. Time warps and all that stuff. Yes, 27 years. Yeah? The Beast Machines were defeated about 25 of those years ago. It was rather quick. They failed. Should I tell you another story about how that happened? Yeah. Well, I'm going to anyway. I figured you were. This isn't even a bookend. We're just here to listen to you ramble and then get on with the story, I take it. This place for sale or something? This is your lair? No, it's not for sale. It's a ship. A Robotech ship. The Echelon. Yes. I will tell you another story. Goes a long way back. I never completed the other story. All that Beast Machine stuff happened, and then car robots, and several of the universes sprang to life, like Armada and the Unicron Saga. Beast Wars Neo and Beast Wars 2. But we're not going to go there. I'm going to read you a story. From the time of Beasties, just to set the mood, if you don't mind. And even if you do, tough. Yes, mother-daughter, you would probably ramble on incessantly if you had the chance. But here we are, 27 years later, after the great wars were finally over, and the defeat of the Predacons, yes, that's it, the Predacons, by the Maximals, who discovered their techno-organic bodies. Yes. Timeline doesn't quite match up, but don't worry about it. Long ago, I didn't quite remember where or under what circumstances, I discovered something most curious. If I looked at a photo of a robot with a neutral or somewhat stern expression, and I myself adopted a friendly smile, the person in the photo would suddenly look much friendlier. By contrast, if I took an angry expression and scowled, the photo would suddenly look mean. Try it sometime. My computer desktop wallpaper consists of a picture of Knight Megs. It's kind of like Megatron, but out of time. Yeah. Also, they've named one of the Maximal bots after my dog. My, dog. Yes. I hope I don't encounter Spike Knight or whatever the hell his name is anytime soon. Anyway, let me go on about this. Alright, yeah. Yeah. The computer desktop wallpaper, yes, the picture of Knight Megs. It's a retouched version of what has become my favorite picture of him, out of the Japanese first season sticker book. A picture that conveys all of his strengths and characters, conviction of purpose, determination, directness, and, let's face it, overwhelming physical attractiveness. Playing with a scan of that picture in my graphics program, I ended up, quite by accident, solarizing the image so that it became a sort of photographic negative in black and white, which immediately put me in mind of a night scene. Building on that concept further, I added some faint colors and replaced the background with a starry night sky, complete with a comet and spiral galaxy in the distance, which took an intricate amount of time to get right, in proportion to the tiny percentage of the image they actually take up. Then I added color to the eyes, and that part had to be absolutely perfect. So it again took up a fair amount of time. I filled in the outlines with a brilliant red fill, with a trace of yellow at the bottom for a true fiery effect, and then lightly airbrushed around the borders to create the eyes glowing in the darkness look. I remained pleased enough with the results that I put up a somewhat lower quality version on my webpage. Back in the 1990s, this story is really old. In any case, this is the image that greets me whenever I power up my computer. And I've discovered something. When I've had a good day, when I'm pleased with the world and feeling happy and triumphant or simply relaxed and content, Knight Megs, or rather Megatron, back in the day, the stern expression seems to just about ready me to curve over into a smile. There's something humorously conspiratorial glittering in the lights of those eyes, as though he and I share a marvelous secret that the rest of the world simply isn't in on. You've already guessed the flip side, I'm sure. When I'm stressed, upset, and angry and frustrated, and disgusted with myself to not being more efficient, motivated, organized, or level-headed, Knight Megs' expression borders on disapproval. Or disappointment, at the very least. As though saying, come on, you can do better than that. You're a Decepticon! I thought more highly of you. Let that sound totally callous. I'll add that when I'm extremely upset, when I feel let down by my friends and bashed at every turn by random strengths, Knight Megs just looked sad. Like he wanted to help, but couldn't. Perhaps that's what's going on when people accept the given label of heroic Autobot and evil Decepticon without question, and then view everything they see thereafter from the perspective of that mindset. From that viewpoint, witnessing Decepticon interactions that are anything but evil will either be interpreted as something else. Soundwave doesn't really feel friendship toward Knight Megs, he's just grubbing for power or making nice to the leader. Or they won't be registered at all. Waspinator has concern for the safety of his comrades in Better Mousetrap, where it's quite an interesting phenomenon. Furthermore, people are unlikely to realize that they're caught up in it. Maybe if they did try the picture trick, they'd begin to see the point. Maybe, for that reason, I don't like the grotesque expressions, a lot of the Beast Wars toys, either. I like the fact that most of the old toys had very neutral expressions. Lots of them. If you look at those closely, look quite noble and detached, in a Greek-style sort of way. And that's easy to imagine, changing their expression into either a friendly or unfriendly one, depending on your current preference. With the Beast Wars toys that all have leering mouths and bared teeth, it's hard even with the most determined cheerfulness to visualize them as any other way. Oh, they're not all like this, to be sure. I looked closely at my Tarantulas toy once and noticed that he had a very kind and jovial expression.
It's very faint and barely detectable unless you look closely, but it's there. Or maybe it isn't there. Maybe it's just my own affection for the character that's mirroring itself to me. I don't even want to imagine what a die-hard Autobot fan would see. It is, once and again, all a matter of perspective. The end.
Oh shit. Intruders!
After all these years of searching the galaxy, the Echelon is mine.
And a fan stole it, no less.
You're not Megatron, you're Knight Megs. You're a time-trapped Megatron, kind of. Where is your Autobot do-goody-goody doppelganger? He's around here somewhere. And no, this ship is not yours. This ship belongs to Raksha, mother-daughter, daughter-mother.
You fembots are insane. Well, perhaps you would be useful. I plan to conquer the universe. How would you like to join me?
Well, since the multiverse is completely screwy, and you're the only current Megatron around, I guess I'll have to fixate on you for no apparent reason and follow you implicitly, because you're one of the Megatrons. Okay. However, the ship is still mine. My ship. She's a Transformers fan hoarder. What is all this crap? Ugh.
I don't know. I think it's cool. Is that the head of Predaking over there? Oh, shit.
Yes, I have many things here. I have Starscream's cape from the incident where Galvatron blew him away, and I have Iron Man's suit, and I have Wheelie's corpse, and I have Spike's exosuit, and all kinds of things, and a giant plate from the humans displaying a sort of pseudo Autobot Dodge Charger thing, just for fun. And I have other. Yes, I hope you like the collection. Yes, yes, and I have pieces of some of my other, associates as well. Arms, legs, all kinds of stuff. You should see what's in the back in the storeroom. Yes.
You bonkers femmes, I want you to clean this place up. This was the bridge of a starship. We need to get it flying again. Yes. For now, it will remain your ship. But I will be the commander. Understand?
Well, yes, of course, Knight Megs. I've never wanted to be in charge. I'm similar to Night Racer over there. Mercenary, daughter, ancestor, and descendant. It's very confusing. You see, there was a lot of time warps going on. By the way, where are we now? Is it 2026 or 2408? And neither. I know it's several years after the Beast Wars, Beast Planet thing. It's got to be like almost 30 years after the Beast stuff, right? Yeah. Technically, Beast Machine's story ended in 2001, so this would be 25 years later, roughly. Because 2001 equates to 2401, roughly. Yes. But it's time warp, so it's also 2026, and we can go back and forth into time warps. But we shouldn't do that, because that's silly. Yes, it would interfere with timeline. We have to stay in our time. Yes. Let's not convolute this. This is just the beginning. Yes, an alliance between the remaining Predacons and the remaining Decepticons and the Maxis Carta. Once more. Yes. It shall be glorious. And of course, the Decepticons. The name Decepticon shall return. Yes, it shall. Yes, it shall. You're a little cracked, mother-daughter. I mean that my personal worldview and philosophies and my individual evaluation of right and wrong, good and evil, admirable and detestable, have been concurrent with the Decepticon mindset all along. Believe it or not, my favorite color was purple, well before I'd ever met or heard of the Transformers. Girls, I intend to enter the CR chamber. And then I will listen to some music or something. However, I do not wish to actually listen to music because, it might get flagged on YouTube. Haha. Breaking the fourth wall already? Very well. Proceed. Yes, she does that. She's a Terran. She comes from that other universe. How she got here, I don't know. Then again, I don't know how I got here. I'm the daughter of Springer and Arcee from that other timeline. Huh.
I do not care where we came from.
What? Who goes there?
Greetings from Nightspike, Miss Nightshade.
You cannot be real. I must be having a dream.
No, I'm real. You may scan me if you like.
Oh God, you are real. What do you want from me?
Nightspike will explain at the meeting. You must come with me, Miss Nightshade.
Not without getting properly attired, I'm not. Now don't you look, or I'll rip out your optics and tap dance on them.
Commander Firak warned me about your voice changes and sense of humor. I didn't believe him until now. That Firak? One and the same. Now get ready. I'll wait for you on the other side. Some impression I'll give him. Very interesting, Miss Nightshade.
Thanks. It took me 3 years to do all these characters. Sorry about the outfit.
Doesn't matter. You don't need to wear an exosuit at the meeting anyway.
You wouldn't say that if you ever read my stories.
Oh.
Never mind, I'm being silly. Chances of any of my characters coming to life is probably slim. Let us go, eh?
After you.
Gee, how tall are the others if you have a ceiling this high?
Just in case there'd be other taller ones than us. Couple stories, isn't it? Teletran 1 will provide a suit for you. Just stand in the circle. Close enough. Now, here's the dressing room. Stand in the circle for the scan.
Right. What kind of girl do you take me for? I wouldn't strip in an empty room that could well be rigged with the video equipment for anything.
Take my word, Miss Nightshade. You will be totally alone in there. But if it'll make you feel any better, ask Teletran to put a dressing screen on.
I can hang that. I'll be back. I hate skirts, and I look pretty awful in white.
Come, Miss Nightshade. The others are waiting. Which others? The high-ranking ones. You know, Prime and Metalhawk.
Oh, the tall guys. In fact, I thought they'd be taller.
Come in, Miss Elliot. Kind places. Hi, Nightshade. Why, you son of a... What's the language? It's not ladylike. You sound like my mother. It's good to see you in the flesh, my dear.
Firak, behave yourself, or I'll stick Red Star on you.
Oh, I'm hurt. What do you take me for? A reincarnated depth charge? I hope not. Or I'll have to kick you into you-know-where.
You're kind of like a Texas peach. Aren't you from Witwicky, Virginia? Maybe we begin?
I'm sorry about that, sir. So why am I here? Well, Commander Firak and the others have told me much about you. I wish to ask you to take a test. What kind, pray tell? Apparently we're going to restate the stars as a time-space patrol, my dear. You get to be in it.
Oh, I'll give it a try. Where do I go and what do I need to do?
Allow me, Prime, Miss Nightshade. Scan this. You must now decide where to have a base.
Oh, I know the perfect place. Off Jefferson Point, in the underwater city.
Near the resting place of one of the battle fortresses. Very well. Do I get a staff? Unfortunately, many Autobots are already spoken for or are defunct. Hey, wait a second. Prime, could you build me a staff if I provided the materials? I don't see why not.
Good. Well, let me go back home and I'll look about. See you later, Firak and gentlemen. Well, I've got the U-Haul and Reynolds hooked up. I thought so. Got a feeling about that one, huh? Well, are we ready? Well, everything's all hooked up then. I thought we'd have a good feeling about this. So let's go. I'll be back in a while.
Hello there, young lady. What you looking for? Got any decent automobiles that aren't wrecked? I have a couple in the back. One's a bit burned out, though.
I'll take a look, thanks. Oh my god, it can't be. Huh. This one's kind of a mess. Damn, I thought for sure you would have left by now, for all this time. Nah, I wanted the nice company.
Well, talk to them, huh?
I do too sometimes. They listen well, like they're alive almost.
How much for one of them?
100 credits.
Deal. It's a deal. It is a deal. You made me very happy.
The dents in the grill almost make it look like it's smiling. We'll come back for them.
Is that her contribution?
So it would seem. Well, take them in there and get to work.
What's wrong? Trudy, one of those 2 cars and scrap I brought. They're all gone. Where's Trudy? What's wrong? Where's Trudy? Where's Trudy? The scrap cars were brought in here. They're gone. The red and blue semi-truck pulled into the driveway. Want to meet him? That'd be Night Spike. Want to meet him? I think I've met a version of him before. Very well.
Still here, and everything's being arranged.
When will the staff be ready?
In a cycle. We'll contact you when both are finished. Until then, Miss Nightshade, have a good day.
And to you, sir.
This is going to be one heck of a wild lifetime. My vehicles were Decepticons. Is that how you got in here? It's true that we're Decepticons, but you're not in your base anymore. You are with us.
Yes, begin the experiment.
This will give you your skills, Nightshade. Whatever individual possessed them will yet be able to contribute to the Decepticon cause, since you were given sentient to go with the abilities.
Activate the green light.
I am not a virgin metaprocessor. It contained reconstructed information, extracted from another data core, one far older, blasted and smelted by eons of burial. Yes, you were apparently one of our Terrans. Yes, the Terran core is still part of it. What do you intend to do with me? I'm here to observe and report the rebirth of a new life form.
The experiment is going wrong. It's a computer virus.
You fools, you didn't set up a firewall? Utter blackness? But not in a racial context.
Adjust the firewalls. We can always release the virus on the Autobots.
Enough. Activate the screens. Who are you? What am I doing here?
Welcome, Nightshade. I am pleased that you exist. I am Redwing, your engineer. You have been created to assist me in furthering the Decepticon cause. You will have a great deal to assimilate in the next days.
Look, there's obviously been a mistake going on here. I'm Scourge. I'm an information resource manager, or North Point, Carnifex. Data processing and all the other odds and ends. Go with the job. This is some sort of medical facility. I have credit. I should be covered for most emergencies.
Scourge, we merely brought you back. Now can it for a while.
What is this housing? I'm some kind of space hovercraft? What is this housing? I'm a Class V8 Skyhawk aerial hovercraft?
There's obviously been some kind of mix-up here. I demand to see my attorney.
Some bit of your residual memory remains within you. This should not have come through to your conscious mind.
There are severe penalties that go with medical mix-ups, you know. Don't think I can't or won't sue.
Perhaps the data core's personality could not be entirely separated out from the skills wished to impart on you. But do not be confused. Your current inputs are not to be taken as facts. They should fade shortly.
I don't like the sound of this. What's that fool carrying on about? I want access to a vid phone so I can call my attorney. How can I phrase this in a way you'll understand? You do not have an attorney, Nightshade. You're suffering from some residual effect of the data core I implanted. That is all. What a horrid housing to be placed in. The signal's all wrong, and it's green. Bah, I can't abide by that color. Personally, I think you look most becoming. It is a unique form, one that I've never attempted before, and I'm pleased with the outcome. You will find it most maneuverable and agile.
You could blank the core and start the process again after manually filtering out the corruption information in the data core. I found it long ago while testing weaponry at an ancient bomb site. In fact, I found a number of them, the equivalent of a mass grave, and kept some out of maudlin curiosity, as well as for the future tests of this theory of data retrieval.
After establishing a process for downloading information from near-destroyed data cores, I declared Nightshade's perspective core as the only useful and salvageable one in the lot. However, despite rigorous tests and watertight theory, there evidently have been holes in my data retrieval process. Nightshade did not believe that she was Nightshade. What had gone wrong? I never had begun the project, and there had been even an element of doubt.
Some unaccounted for variable has been introduced.
What are you talking about?
I shall repeat myself, as you seem to be a wee bit intellectually impaired or hard of hearing. My name is Scourge, and I'm an information resource manager at North Point Carnifex. I've obviously suffered some sort of accident, and due to a mix-up of serial codes, I've been reconstructed in the wrong housing. I want a vid phone and to call my attorney, so that I can work out how to resolve the mess. Meanwhile, charging your firm with the highest possible sum I can get for malpractice.
That's what's in there? Terran junk. We could wipe the metaprocessor. That would be tantamount to destroying Nightshade and erasing a mind before it even began to experience life. No. Perhaps we could reason with it.
What have you done?
We'll do best to ignore the memories that seem to be your own. They are not, I assure you. Perhaps I can trace the source and eradicate them, but I do not wish to make the attempt until your mind is adjusted to its unique physical housing. There is no need for alarm or annoyance. Unique? You mean you've put me in some sort of experimental design? The very nerve of it all. And I can assure you that I am who I say I am. My memories are faultless. It is you and your shoddy medical firm who are in error. You will be fine, Nightshade. And yes, it is an experimental design in terms of the body form, but the internals function just as your siblings do. You will see what I mean when you meet them. Let's go back a step. The last thing I recall was I was in my villa. I had redesigned it to the most tasteful shade of peach, with the latest works on the walls. And then, now what's next? There were gaps. I'll put them down to the accident rather than your clumsy medications for now. Anyhow, I recall that the oaf from the army wanted to see me, and rather rudely demanded that I pay his contract, and then... No doubt it shall all become clear after I speak with my attorney. You know, I begin to doubt your competence as a practitioner. My name is most certainly not Nightshade, and I don't have any siblings. Perhaps you must be one of the patients. I take it. Find me a real doctor, will you? One who can guide me to a vid phone. Nightshade's memories are not complete. They are not truly yours. That the fragments should have remained at all, however, is truly puzzling. We will alleviate the problem as soon as I can track down the exact cause. I cannot imagine they will be too difficult to eradicate, as soon as I am sure of their exact location in your data core.
You bastard! Bastard! I say that twice because of the TV show. I'll just say it. You bastard. But not said twice. I told you it would take 3 days to get the funds.
Execute him.
Got to oblink the 00 virus. I delay, I grovel, I beg. A few more seconds and I'll have them. A stray shot from behind. Pain receptors kick in. A few more seconds.
Utter darkness. What is this?
Whatever memories you're finding aren't yours. They belong to someone who is long dead. They're simply residual. The Decepticons, they shot me. This individual that you speak of was killed long ago. I was not aware of the reason. I cannot accept this. I cannot. I was not aware of it either, but you cannot refuse. It's just the distant future. I will not. I have stated quite clearly who I am, and have asked for some quite reasonable terms. You have refused. I believe that you are delusional, and wish to emphatically state that the entire situation is unacceptable. Who would be the owner of this motley third-rate chop shop? I must speak with him urgently. And where can I get a vid phone? I am currently in charge of this motley third-rate chop shop. until our leader returns. Until then, you will deal with me. Whoever you think you are a Decepticon. Our leader is Megatron, and a Decepticon. You will show him the proper respect. And no, there are no vid phones available. I've been reconstructed by Decepticons? Well, that would explain the primitive bedside manner, but that doesn't help my situation. I've been strictly neutral in this war, and intend to remain so. Now, if you excuse me, I'll be on my way. There are no neutrals, not for long, and there is nowhere for you to go.
Come, I will show you some computer files of the others in our organization. Your siblings, for instance.
Carnifax is gone.
Carnifax no longer exists, Nightshade.
Now come, you'll have to be aware of the situation you're in order to be fully effective. I didn't build you in order to have you fall prey to the Autobots, or to your own delusions.
What happened to Carnifax?
The individual whose memories remain with you has been dead for almost 380 years. You are not on Cybertron, but on another world, which is serving as a source of resources for our claiming of Cybertron.
No, I am Scourge. No, I am Scourge. I was rebuilt as well. Like your precious Nightshade, but I'm not you.
The 00 virus. I never uplinked it.
The zero virus. I never uplinked it. Its very nature must have acted as a safeguard that maintained my personality, despite your butchery. One does not navigate the world sphere without learning caution.
Whatever specializations this Scourge had for navigating cyberspace are well outdated by now, I assure you. Come over here if you wish to catch up on what has been going on since the time you had memories of. You may want to download the files.
Oh, she just says that. I assume my other mode, according to these statistics, is some sort of information-gathering device. I will show you how to make use of your alternate mode.
Perhaps not as badly constructed as I first thought. You will find that you have limited anti-gravitational abilities in your alternate mode. It will allow you to enter and access almost any computer. Once I familiarize myself with the temporal adjustments, shall I then be free to pursue my individual career? Consider this. You're on an alien world in a situation you have no first-hand knowledge of. Where do you propose to go? I'll test the security barriers. Different, yes, but still recognizable. Shouldn't be too hard to cut my way through, and then... And then what? Despite the ease of procuring secret Decepticon military information, who was left for him to sell it to? And what was their currency left to pay with it? Oh, shouldn't be too hard to cut my way through, and then... By the way, what's the current pay rate the Decepticons are offering? Your payment will be victory for our kind and control of Cybertron, which is ours by right. You are confused as of yet. You mean that not only am I to be drafted into your rather pointless cause, but I don't get paid? Ugh. The human creatures still have an economy? Rather thankfully. Perhaps they could be of service to the reestablishment of industry. They are useless for any purpose other than goading the Autobots. Even if by some miracle the Decepticons obtain control of Cybertron, I don't think they'll bring back private enterprise, will they? I don't see that in the official dogma. Industry will be established soon enough again on Cybertron, once the Autobots have been defeated. There will always be need for expansion and improvement. You will be privileged to witness it. I'm dealing with a fanatical nutcase.
Here is another matter of importance. The Decepticons who share this base with you. These are the personnel files of the warriors currently stationed here. You should be aware of those who you will be working with.
Will be working with? Isn't that rather an assumption on your part? And would you care to inform me of how my data core came into your possession? I didn't notice any explanation in your file. Download this file and I'll explain it to you. I'm gonna die of cultural starvation. I came into possession of it through a chance find. Yours alone, among a great many others, retained enough stored information to possibly be retrievable. I've done extensive work on cerebral neural circuitry, and I wish to see if it was indeed possible to reconstruct that stored information. You know, I seem to get more experimental by the minute. I found that the individual you call Scourge had certain skills and talents that I felt would be useful to our cause. So rather than simply copying this data core to some file for later use, I instead gave the data core to you in a visible form. Unfortunately, some life memories from this scourge were intertwined in his encoded abilities, and I was unable to remove them, which is why you are having the delusion that you are in fact Scourge. I assure you, he's long dead, and you are Nightshade. But I can see how the situation is confusing from your point of view. Your experiment was a great success. I'm now far away from home and my business. Free enterprise doesn't exist anymore. I'm marooned on an alien planet in a body which is most unsightly shade of green, and I've been drafted into the military, who are directly responsible for my demise in the first place, and I have to work with someone who thinks I don't even exist. But do you know what the worst part is? On top of all that, the final humiliation, I don't get paid. I think you will come to see differently in time. It is my hope that these fragments of memory will fade of their own accord as soon as I feel your mind is adjusted to its enclosure. I will probe further and help the process along. You will not be forced to live in such confusion. You will do no such thing. I can assure you I have adapted perfectly, and subsequently will not be requiring you to incompletely poke and muddle about with my mind, which remains, after all, my own property, and not yours. I hope we're clear on that. Your mind is your own property, of course, but I can see the turmoil, and you cannot expect me to not alleviate it. You are, after all, my creation, whether you realize it at the time or not. I am not your creation. This junk you have constructed may indeed be my current housing, but that is your limit of your involvement in my formation. Your actions are not the fault of your own in any case. I wish I had more experience with this sort of problem, but I am sure it will sort itself out. I should be grateful that we've made some small progress. The situation had better improve. It can hardly get any worse. I think you will come to feel at home here soon enough, once you've adjusted. If you'll excuse me, I have to get adjusted. Thank you for your briefing session, as it was most, informative. I shall see you later, I suppose. Better luck with the next one, as they say, eh? Familiarize yourself with the base before then, but do not go off on your own. I hope to have some time to introduce you to the planet at a later opportunity. Now, if you excuse me, I must be off.
Yeah, you guys rebuilt me too, because I had one of the sweep bodies. Yeah. I think we just drove her nuts. You're not very good at this.
Well, I'm an engineer, not a doctor.
And the viral from long ago. A version of the same one that turned Transformer Autobots and Decepticons into Maximals and Predacons. If it were to get out again now, who knows what it would do?
Yes. And with Megatron away, Knight Megs is in charge. I will wait for him to return to discuss this. Speak no more of it.
The Maximals and the Predacons? What are you guys building here, anyway?
She's a Terran. She was working for the Autobots in an undersea base before the Decepticons killed her. But now, she will work for us.
I share some of her thoughts. I don't trust her any more than I trust my own thoughts. In the hundreds of years since the Great War, we needn't worry about that. The lines between Autobot and Decepticon are blurred, but we still exist. I had a strategy for survival back in those days that almost worked. It worked really well in times of stasis, but of course, there were no such things as stasis in a chaotic universe like ours, and yet my little strategy worked for a long time. Stasis tricking chaos when chaos wasn't looking. chaos, raking up chips against stasis, and then cashing them in all at once. Stasis went broke a long time ago. I'm a bot who never gambled with anything. I lived in Tarn my whole life, happy just to be alive and functioning another day. I didn't need to join the gladiators. I had a trade and enough resources to provide for my energon needs. That was all I wanted. I used to tell my friends to take it easy. They'd say, but Devcon, there's a crisis going on. We can't just slow down. We're running out of energon, and the warmongers are gathering weapons. Worrying won't help anything, so why waste perfectly good energon, rushing around in a panic? I didn't change any minds with my arguments. I think I was the only bot in all of Tarn that wasn't trying to do anything more than be happy with what we had. I don't know who started the war. I just know that I wanted to make a delivery to Echelon, and when I came back, I had no home. It was like that for a lot of us. The ones like me, anyway. The ones who'd been getting by without needing to worry over what tomorrow would be like. That was a job relished only by troublemakers and politicians. Most of the time, the two were synonymous. Not everyone had perished in the Voss Tarn War. Knight Megs, our local hero of the gladiator pits. How did he manage to survive? I don't think they'll ever know for certain. But he did. He took over in what was left of Tarn, and I thought, good. There's the leader we need to clean up the mess and help us rebuild. I get to work rebuilding my home using the remains of the home I had before. I didn't think much about anything else. His agent came to me almost every day, patrolling the streets looking for anyone who was still alive, black-footed, hiding in the shadows, asking me, how does it feel to be the byproduct of a senseless war? I said I didn't care. I was just happy to be alive. Doesn't it bother you knowing your leaders have failed you, knowing the energon is quickly running out? I have enough for now. I'll rebuild, even if it takes a while. I'm in no hurry. I'll be back in case you change your mind. Why would I? If all the time in the world. Voss wasn't going to shell the city again. There was nothing left to shell, and nobody left in Voss to operate the cannons. My home was in a dark corner of a ruined city, surrounded by utter devastation. If it hadn't been for Knight Megs' agent visiting me every day, I'd have been all alone. No, that wasn't right. There were others around like me, rebuilding. Some of them were persuaded by Knight Megs' agent, but most of us weren't. Most of us were just happy to get by. That changed as time passed. Do you refuse to swear loyalty to Knight Megs? I shall have to inform him. What Megs... It's no filing off my faceplate what Knight Megs does or doesn't do. I'm happy where I am. We're running out of time. Take it easy. There's no need to rush. We can rebuild the city. It just takes patience is all. The ones who are slow to their feet are the ones left behind. I didn't think Knight Megs was going to destroy the whole city using the drainers. Decepticons and Predacons, prepare to level the city with the drainers. Attack. I managed to get away from them. I'm sick of talk. Sick of talk. Where's the fight? I need to fight. Gonna be a fight, I think. I'm gonna be there. There's a fight gonna happen, and I'm gonna be there. 'Cause I'm sick of talk, sick of talk, sick of talk. They promised me a fight of fights, action and battle. There will be plenty of opportunity for combat, asset storm. That's what Knight Megs says, and Knight Megs is always right. I know it in the now, but not in the then. It must have happened sometime in the then that I learned. Knight Megs is always right. A Slipstream and Knight Megs were talking about something. Talking, always talking, slack it. When do we get a fight?
Quiet, Acid Storm. Knight Megs and I are conversing. But when do we get that fight?
Patience, my eager friend. Knight Megs calls me friend. There are worse things to be than friend to Knight Megs. I need to fight, and I know that. Know that always because I said so. Sometime in the dead of the now, but I didn't remember exactly. Who are these soldiers, Slipstream? Nova Storm, Ion Storm, and Acid Storm. Sir. Ion Storm has attitude. I like that instantly. I want to fight, sir. I want to. But bro, you really have no focus. You're right. He's got no focus. Quiet, Ion Storm. Can you not see the dedication your brother displays? I recorded the words because only Knight Megs speaks that way. Someday I want to fight and speak that way. What, if we all have focus? I say it because Knight Megs wants me to say it. I want to blow something up. I have too much firepower to stand around and talk. Wait a cycle. I don't want attention. I want to blow something up. I have focus. Why don't we go kill something? I'm sick of waiting around here. Why don't we go and kill something? Me too, Ion Storm. There ain't nothing left in town to bust up. When are we gonna bust up something? There ain't nothing left in Tarn to bust up. When are we gonna bust some Autobots?
Quiet, Ion Storm. We are working on strategy.
I'm sick of Slipstream working on strategy. And I'm pretending to be asleep. What? I like to listen, but I'm sick of listening. I want to be heard. Did Ion Storm even hear me when I asked? How much more of this can I take? No answer. Because he's still mad at me. Fine. I don't want to talk anyway. Hot Link, knock it off. Next time I won't make so much noise. I got stuck listening to Slipstream talk about strategy with Knight Megs. They talked about other soldiers in their group. I don't care. They talked about Iocon's defenses. I don't care. They talked about timetables and positions and resources, and I wished I had the ability to switch myself into sleep mode when I'm stuck inside the compartment. Wait a second. I can't fight in sleep mode. Never mind. How long was it afterwards? I don't remember.
I'll take them into the city and so panic.
Yes. Ion Storm. Attack. Yes, go into the city and so panic. Yes. Ion Storm and the others. Attack. Yes. It was in the now. Yes, it was in the then. But it was also in the now. I shall go because I like that. I wasn't thinking about that then, but now. I was just happy to see some action. Some action, finally.
The Autobots can't get away because they can't fly. You'd think after nearly 400 years they'd figure a way around that. Oh well, stupid Autobots. Stupid, dead Autobots. Attack. In the inside position, into the gap.
We'll drop them in the pit. Yes, hot molten metal. Hovering over a pit, that doesn't sound like much fun unless we're going to drop them in. Today is a very good day. Yes, we should drop the Autobots in a hot molten metal pit. Ha ha ha. I believe you're right. I believe you're right, Nightmares, because you always are. And did I know that back then? I can't remember. It's true anyway. Doesn't matter. Now I gotta blow something up, and that's all I cared about. Ion Storm and I took turns reducing them to scrap. Little red car got through somehow. He's got speed none of us guessed. Didn't know they made Autobots that fast. I didn't either. Should we chase it? No, we'll just drain our own energon chasing down one lousy Autobot. No. The little red Autobot escaped. Oh well, battle is everything. There'll be a lot more battle after this. Slipstream is going to listen to Knight Megs again about the next plan. He's going to talk and talk and talk. And that's good, because when Knight Megs talks, Slipstream listens. And I'm going to fight again. That's what the talking means. I get to fight. Knight Megs says so, and Knight Megs is always right. Good enough, because that's my focus. I'm all about focus.